someone is height is too short, even to reach the ATM machine.
I cannot.
And these are situations where you have to call a security person and you say, come and help me to withdraw my money. And many people have been stolen, from because of these things. You call someone you don't trust, the person will master your PIN, and the person can steal your card and come and withdraw your money from your account. Leave alone even this, even in the toilet facilities. You believe if you go to the men's side, you find, they have put it high like this, the urinals and all that. But this person who is short now cannot even reach there. So we are still having serious issues that we need to understand, we need to learn, and we need to put it right as a country for the inclusion of persons with disabilities.
Well, let's talk about the general public maybe. How about the stigmatization over the years? Is it still much? Is it reducing? How are the public reacting to this?
Stigma is still there in the society. Let me even say it breaks down even up to the level of families. Our society still don't understand about disability. There are people who do not want to associate with the persons with albinism. You know albinism?
Yes.
Yes. Those the disability that changes the skin of someone. And do you know, people believe, some of the people still believe that when you touch a person with albinism, or when you sit nearer to a person with albinism, you can also get that. You understand? Lack of knowledge, lack of awareness.
Ignorance.
And you find stigma is still there as part of the society. Let me even go back to the families where there are children with disabilities. There are others who have refused to take these children to school just because they have a disability. There are others, the society look at you and everyone will stand and begin to look at you. You understand that?
Yeah.
A person who is a little person who is short, you move in a community, even people will begin to follow you.
Even the names.
Making fun of you. They give you different names.
Yeah.
Stigma is still there in the society. And no, it is one of the things that really makes persons with disabilities to feel like they are different from other humans. We should reach a level where our society embrace persons with disabilities, live with them, find it normal to stay with them in the communities, in the church, in the schools, and everywhere. They are human beings like you. The only difference is that for you, you don't have a disability, but they have a disability. But the disability does not make them less a human being in the society. And that is something that is unique, that our people really should understand. Stigma is very dangerous, because the person who feels really the society does not love them, the society does not care for them, their participation in the society becomes actually a problem. You call for community meetings, they will not go.
They will not
because even when they go for the meetings, because of the disability, you are not going to consult them. You are not even going to pick them to talk. So why should I go for the meetings?
Yes.
And this so much affects the level of participation of persons with disabilities in all the aspects of development. And that is why we say no to stigma. These are human beings like everyone. Can we be given space? Can persons with disabilities be given space so that they can participate? Can they go to school and study? Can they be employed in the government and private sectors so that they contribute towards the development of this country? But you find even employment alone is a problem. Someone will begin to look at the disability, not looking at the mind.
Yeah.
You have gone to the same schools, you have gone to the same universities, you have qualified, you have sometimes even the person with disabilities are scored higher than you, has a better transcript than you. But you go to seek for employment because of the disability, someone will not be taken. And these are the issues, that we have been advocating for. Can these people be given chance to work? Because a person who is deaf, if you employ the person and you give a sign language interpreter, you cater for the sign language interpreter, the person will do the work perfectly without any problem.
Okay.
Even the person who is blind, if you give reasonable accommodation to the person and you provide a computer with the program of JAWS, the person can work, can do reporting, can do everything alone without support. But what our people need to know is that it is a matter of creating a conducive environment for these people. And they will thrive. They will move on.
Wow.
And they perform even better. We have got actually feedbacks from organizations and institutions where persons with disabilities are employed. Some of them have been given even the best employee of the years, you know, because of, you know, they have the mind, they have the level of concentration. They can do the work perfectly well, even better than some of the people without disabilities.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's also this trend, and I do not want to be misquoted at any moment by the authorities and whatever.
Yes.
We have people, you find a mother has unfortunately given birth to a baby who's disabled in any way. But instead of understanding and taking care of this person in the appropriate way, they choose to go to the church. I am not against miracles, I'm not against anything, but these kind of people, because we have even seen, for me, I can even give a case study example. I have had someone, a baby, dying at around 5 years, because these people were always on the road. They are going this way, there is a crusade to pray for, there is a crusade here. That is the life they are living. What advice do you give to such people when you encounter them?
You know, we have come from far when it touches the issue of disability. And you know, I just want to give a little bit background, maybe to disability movement in Uganda.
Okay.
You know, NUDIPO, the National Union of Disabled Persons of Uganda, came into existence way back in 1987.
Okay. Wow.
And I want us to look at how people used to understand about disability and also treat persons with disabilities in the country. NUDIPO came on board with the mandate of seeing that that voiceless person, that person with disability who does not have a voice, who cannot speak about his or her rights, there is an institution that has come into existence that will hear out their voice, advocating for the rights of persons with disabilities in the country. And this is what NUDIPO has been doing for quite a number of years. I think we are celebrating our 38th birthday this year. And what you see, the trend, what we are seeing now is better than the situation of persons with disabilities back in the year 1987. Because this came with the issue of trying to change or to put into our laws aspect of inclusion, aspects of rights of persons with disabilities, affirmative action for the interests of persons with disabilities and other vulnerable groups. It has been a process. But when you go back to those days, persons with disabilities were not even mixing freely with others in the communities. There are some centers whereby they say center where they keep the blind. If you are blind, you have to be there. And most of the people were using persons with disabilities for economic gain, moving around with them, putting them along the roadside and collecting money. And you find some of these are children who are within the school-going age.
Yes.
So instead of taking them to school, you take them to the roadside so that you get money out of the disability in them.
So sad.
And through this, many of persons with disabilities did not go to school. And I'm telling you, even with the situation that you are trying to bring out, a child with disability, someone is moving with a child with disabilities to church, you may even think someone is going there to look for a miracle, but maybe someone is looking for sympathy to get money. You find even this child has a disability, but this child should really be supported to develop. Supported to develop, you know, mentally, to be taken to the school so that this child can begin to learn with others. But then because you think this child does not have the ability, so you keep the child at home. There are very many children with disabilities who are being kept at the backyard in homes.
Yeah.
Even when visitors come,
They do not.
in the home,
They
you
stay
don't even
back
introduce them as your children or as your child in the family. You're not proud of them. You don't treat them equally, even at homes. You are taking other children of yours to school, but this one with disabilities you are keeping at home. That is abuse of the right of that child with disability. So the society should not underlook person with disabilities, whether a child or an adult. If you have a child with disability, take that child with disability to the hospitals when they are sick, take them to school so that they can learn, provide for them like you provide for other children, or even more, because they need more of your support as a child in the family. But these are things that our society should learn from, you know.
Yes.
In other communities, even they look for some of them for ritual purposes. They want to sacrifice them. Like person with albinism, you find in other countries, it is serious. You cannot move anywhere, anyhowly, because you will be sacrificed with the wrong beliefs. Like when you pick some parts of the body of a person with albinism, you will get rich. Others do believe when you have sexual intercourse with them and you have HIV, you will be cured from that. These are all myths. These are something that people believe in wrongly. And many of persons with disabilities have been abused. Their rights have been abused because of these beliefs, which are not true. You see? So that is the society that we are talking about. That is the level of stigma, that is the level of discrimination that we are talking about. And also, we should stop the aspect of thinking, you know, these people should be kept somewhere separate. We are now talking about inclusion and integration of persons with disabilities. The same society where you stay, they live there.
They have to, yeah.
You know? The same church where you are going, they also go to the church. So when you are constructing a church, create, you know, areas of accessibility for persons with disabilities. When you are building a market, they also participate in economic development. They go to trade. They go to buy. When you're actually building a market, create some accessibility for them, so that they feel they are part and passion of the society and the community where they live.
Well, very important, very strong. And I am very sure you are picking out something in this regard. And because it is a mandate for every person out there to make it flexible for your neighbor. If your neighbor is this and that, no matter what they are, you have to live in harmony together. Well, we are going in for a short break and we'll return with this discussion. Please do not touch that remote.
Issues at hand. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. Issues at hand.
Welcome back from that break, but for us here, it was a continuous discussion, and I've just realized that everyone is a candidate of being disabled. Even if you do not get disabled physically, there is that moment of time where you'll be like 90-something, 80-something. Yes, you'll need to use these ramps that you I don't know how you'll able to maneuver through the steps you've constructed on your building. So it is a call that you have to really be a person who is part and parcel of making sure that there is inclusiveness in our society.
Yes.
One thing that I have liked most is the fact that we build our beautiful mansions,
Yes.
and then at a later age, you shift from the upper floor, you go back to the
down.
small rooms
The
you had
rooms you
put
had
up for the households.
house helps and children.
Oh wow!
Automatically becomes your room because you can no longer climb up there, and you, because of the old age, you are not strong as you used to be, and you know, climbing these steps, moving around up to that beautiful room you have built up there will be a problem, and the best you can do is just to shift your bedroom from that beautiful room.
Sometimes the bedroom may not
rooms.
even the bed may not fit.
The big bed that you have made will not even fit that room, and you go to make a smaller bed.
Smaller one.
And that is how serious it is. And you see, this is what sometimes people get to know it when they are there. You don't plan for it. You don't even look at it and say, you know, at some age, maybe I'm also going. Even if you don't develop a disability, but old age can affect you and you fail to be there. Many people are suffering there in their homes because they cannot climb up.
They cannot access their
Beautiful
beautiful
homes.
houses. Well,
and you see, when we still talk about accessibility, we must be conscious that in the society, even as we are having this program right now, there are persons with the hearing impairment who are so much, you know, interested to follow up with our discussion.
But
right now they cannot follow up with us. Why? Because there's no signing. There's no signing. You know. And you know, whenever people get to know there's a discussion on disability and all this, every person with disabilities who gets to know would want to know what are the things being discussed. And it is a big disappointment if a person with the hearing impairment tunes to family TV on a discussion like this and finds there's no sign language interpreter. And this is also one of the things. I know you have had sign language interpreters who have worked with you, and you would have thought about this also, you know, for this particular program.
It's very, very
so that
crucial.
Persons with hearing impairment would also follow up.
Be part, and we really discuss the inclusiveness. Yeah, that is also a minus for us. Now let's talk about the stakeholders involved. I understand almost everyone is part and pursue. But what role do you think the local governments, the local leaders, cultural leaders, religious leaders have in this fight, in this battle of inclusiveness?
You know, each and every person, being a person, being an institution, there's a role that someone can play. And this role is not only vested in the leaders who are the government people, it is also the society, the communities, the families, the peers, and all these people have roles actually to play. And I want to start with the government. You know, the government is big enough to come up with policies. It's big enough to come up with the budgets to finance inclusion in this country. Talk about the ministries, departments, and agencies. They have a role to play. You know, Uganda as a country has signed the International Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. So when you sign the International Convention, you are saying that my country is going to be inclusive. And not only the international convention, I give a plus to the government of Uganda for signing the UN Convention on the rights of persons with disabilities. Okay. They did not stop there. The Uganda as a government came back in the country and said, we are going to make laws that will guarantee protection of the rights of persons with disabilities. And now we have Persons with Disabilities Act, which was amended last year, 2024, which is in operation. It is there. All these are the things that the government has done. We have a department in the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, Disability Department. It's there. So we have a line ministry that should really look at how do we improve on the lives of persons with disabilities. We don't only stop there. We have policies in place. We have disability policy in place. We have other programs that government has come up with, like the disability grant is there, like even under the famous PDM, Paris Development Model. There is some percentage, some 10% that should benefit persons with disabilities. So I would say the government is also trying, it's also trying. But what we are saying is that it is not enough. It is not enough yet. And when we talk of persons with disabilities, we are talking about a very big population. It is not a small population in this country. You see, World Health Organization gives approximately 16% of the population of the world being persons with disabilities.
How much?
16.
Interesting.
Of the global population. And then when it comes to Uganda, with the recent UBOS census report, you find it is a 13.2% of the total population of Uganda are persons with disabilities.
Wow.
Now, when you do your calculation, you'll find it is about 4.9 million Ugandans being persons with disabilities. It is not a small number. And that is why this number should not be left behind. That is why SNUDIPO and other organizations for persons with disabilities, we are coming on the front and advocating for this big number, huge number of persons who sometimes may be neglected or left out in aspects of programming, budgeting, implementation, policies, and all this. This is a big number. And therefore, as a government, there needs to be deliberate approach of budgeting. At the time of budgeting, where do you put persons with disabilities? Our members of parliament are there. Different ministries, departments, and agencies, they take their budget for approval. How I would love that the budget committee of parliament would be sending them back and saying, your budget is not clear on how you are including persons with disabilities. At least you'll find the departments, government departments and agencies would improve on their level of budgeting for inclusion of persons with disabilities in their institutions. And this should not end with the government, even the private sector. Where do we put persons with disabilities? When it comes to employment in the private sector, when it comes to aspect of giving back to the society, where are you putting persons with disabilities? Do you know that there are many persons with disabilities out there who do not have wheelchairs, who do not have the hearing aid? They are part of the society. You have the responsibility, even as a private sector, to say, this year I want to give back to the community of persons with disabilities. I'm going to provide 100 or 1,000 wheelchairs. Do you know what impact that would create at the community?
It's a huge one.
If you say, this is the number of persons with disabilities, the children who are at the age of school going, but they are not going to school simply because they do not have the wheelchairs to maneuver their ways to go to school. Now, if you are a private sector partner, and you come out and say, I want this number of children who are not going to school to go to school. I'm going to provide for them 200 wheelchairs. Do you know the impact that you have created in the society, in the community? It is not the work of the government only, the private sector, individuals. What are we doing? We all need to contribute to see that person with disabilities will live, a dignified and prosperous life.
Yeah.
Leave alone now with the government. We have talked about the policies, we have talked about the laws and all this. Talk about the government programming. There are other programs that comes to the society.
Yes.
We have a Mioga, we have a PDM, we have youth livelihoods, we have Grow, which has come. To what extent are these programs inclusive for persons with disabilities?
Yes.
I want to tell you, when you go to the communities, for us, we work for persons with disabilities. And we have gone to the communities. We have tried to monitor how persons with disabilities are benefiting from these government programs. You find that even at the community, there is a lack of awareness on disability. Disability inclusion is still a gap. Even the government workers at the lower local government, they do not understand disabilities. Even when we train some of them on disability inclusion, they testify like, I didn't know about this.
Wow.
But these are the people who are working for persons with disabilities at the community level. And some of them testified of sending away even a person with disability because he did not know that this is a category of disability in this country. You see the magnitude. You find person with disabilities crying. People are giving wrong data in other aspects about the beneficiaries of PDM. They have put the name of someone without disability, but on the statistic, it indicates it is a person with disabilities. These are the things we are finding at the community level. A person with disability, may actually have a challenge, following up with some of these things of come back tomorrow, come back the next day with their disability. Someone will give up and say, if this is what it takes for me as a person with disability to enjoy this government program, I'd rather stay at home. We are even getting issues to do with the corruption. Even with those who have got this money, this PDM money, they say we are supposed to get 1 million, but we are given 700,000. It is happening at the community.
Yeah.
So it means even at the lower local government, they still need for our people to understand disability and be inclusive in our programming. When we are budgeting at the district level, do we include disability? Do we include, accessibility of our service points at the district level and all this? It is still a gap,
Yeah.
So it needs actually everyone in the country. The government to do their part, the private sector to do their part, the families to do their part, the church to do their part. Actually, the church should be speaking about persons with disabilities and need for the community to include and accept them as part of the society, to support them. This support is not about getting a person with disability and say, you get 100 shillings, get this. These people can do better than that. If someone with disability has a qualification, is knowledgeable, has gone to school, employ that person. You will have solved the problem of the person begging for money from you, because the person will work for his or her money. If you have got a person with disability who is capable of doing some business, instead of giving me 100 shillings, give me actually some 200,000 and say, begin to do some business. Economically, someone can, it can improve on their status, their well-being in the society. So the society should stop, underlooking, underrating persons with disabilities, but rather to create an enabling environment where they can strive, where they can do business, where they can work, where they can do many things that can contribute towards the development of this nation and also to improve on their livelihoods as persons with disabilities.
Very interesting. And now, can we also talk about the leadership or government positions? How well are we represented in this regard? How well are the persons with disabilities represented? Are the positions enough, or we still need much more? So,
of course, nothing will be enough. Nothing will be enough. But it is worth appreciating the government because through constructive advocacies that NUDIPO has done together with the other organizations for persons with disabilities. I gave you a history back from 1987 when NUDIPO was formed. Okay. You see that many things have happened in the area of representation. And these things are not just coming because they were just put there. They were as a result of advocacy that were done. Okay. Right even away from the time that we are making our 1995 constitution, there were minds that were inclusive. There were minds that were preaching inclusion, even at the time when we are developing our national constitution, the 1995 constitution as amended now. Okay. But you see that many of the people advocated for the voices of persons with disabilities to be coming up at different levels of governance. And that is why in the 1995 constitution you find clauses about affirmative action. Okay. And from there has been a lot of advocacy that has enabled us now to see at the national representation in the parliament. Now we have 5 positions of members of parliament that represent persons with disabilities in this country. Oh. So it is a must. In every election, you'll find 5 at least, there are 5, at least. Why do I say at least? It's because persons with disabilities are not also stopped from contesting in other constituencies. You know? So as a person with disability, you can also go and contest with someone without disability. And we have seen a number of them also going to parliament. So it increases on the number of the 5 that has been given. Now you come to the lower local government. I still give the government credit, even if it was advocacies that were done around that, but the government could say no. The people could reject and say no. But the government of Uganda, through legislation in the Local Government Act, we have representation of persons with disabilities. In every district, there is a male and female representatives of persons with disabilities all over the country. All the districts.
That's interesting.
Go even back to the sub-counties. Sub-counties. In every sub-county, there is a male and female representative of persons with disabilities. Why? Because persons with disabilities were left out. Their level of participation, when it comes to political participation, when it comes to participation in the area of development, they were left out. And the voices of persons with disabilities were not coming up. So it was advocacy that was really appreciated by the government and the people who actually make laws for this country. And right now, as we talk, there is representation at all levels. Go down even up to LC1. There's a secretary who is in charge of children and the vulnerable.
At that level.
At that level. So there is nothing like lack of representation, but what we still talk about is representation in different bodies. You know, even as we handle now the political one, there is fair voicing of persons with disabilities, because in all the councils now we have representation of persons with disabilities, male and females and all that. But now in different bodies, we are still saying there needs to be increased, you know, appointments of persons with disabilities in those bodies. Because even when those bodies really deliberate without understanding disability without someone, guiding them and saying, here we need to be inclusive. They come up with the programs. They come up with the implementations that are not inclusive.
Okay.
That is why we need them there, Persons with disabilities should be appointed in these bodies. If it is the land committees, let there be someone with disability there, so that the person will give the dynamics, the challenges that a person with disability will face. Now, under the Universities and Higher Institutions Act, now in the administration, there must be a representation of persons with disabilities.
Okay. Interesting.
That is why when you go to these universities, only the universities that may not be practicing this, but we continue actually to tell them, here, please go to the universities and other tertiary institutions act. You will see, really, there's a provision, in the council, there must be a representative of persons with disabilities. And we have discussed with many of them. Sometimes they ask you, I've never heard about that. Where are you getting this mandate? And you tell them, go to the universities and other tertiary institutions act. And look at it. And what I appreciate is that when we engage with them, they realize that they were doing something wrong, and automatically they will appoint a representative of person with disability.
Very interesting. That means there's good representation.
There's good representation, but we can't say it is excellent. We still need to have more representation in the statutory bodies, in the commissions, in the universities, and all these other institutions. So that all these institutions will learn about inclusion and will be inclusive, even when they do their programming.
Wow, thank you so much. I understand we could even go more, but unfortunately we don't have that time. So in just a few seconds, if you could give us your last remarks, and we'll see ourselves out of here.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would like, first of all, to thank Family TV, yes, for inviting us to come and discuss about inclusion. Actually, it means you are also practicing inclusion.
Yes.
And you want our society really to be inclusive. How I feel that this should go to our churches and all that. We should be preaching about inclusion of the vulnerable, including persons with disabilities. And I want to appreciate the time that you have allocated for this discussion. You don't underrate the impact of this discussion at the community level and with the people who are listening to this show. I want to appreciate you. I want to thank you for tuning in Family TV and being part of this discussion. This discussion does not stop here. This discussion continues in our families, in our society, in our governance, in our programming, and with everyone who is a human being must actually be interested in this discussion about disability inclusion, because all of us are in this. And I want to appreciate everyone, the organizations that are working for persons with disabilities, other organizations that are inclusive and they're practicing inclusion. And I pray that both our institutions, whether private or government, we should really be now looking at implementation of our legal frameworks, the laws and the policies that we have in this country, where we still have challenges actually. We need to go into real implementation, and the government should be able to enforce this, and the government should be able to budget for this. The communities should appreciate that we want to live in a society where everyone is treated equally, and where we deserve equity for purpose of inclusion. We should adopt equity, so that we can make this society a better place that can be conducive for all, including persons with disabilities.
Thank you so much, Mr. Denis, and he is the manager, policy and rights at NUDIPU, or the National Union of Disabled Persons in Uganda. I want to appreciate you, and I of course appreciate you, the viewer, as well. And when we talk about inclusiveness, I want to appreciate Namirembe Cathedral, All Saints Cathedral, and St. Stephen's Chisugu Church of Uganda. Those are the churches that in their sermons, they already have interpreters there already.
That's why I made that comment, like you have been inclusive when it comes to your services
and all that.
But the only aspect is maybe on the television
on the
today,
television.
you could have forgotten to.
But there is someone who promised me from NUDIPU that every time we are coming, they'll be helping, coming along with an interpreter. I think I should follow that up. But I want to appreciate you as well, viewers, for joining us this morning. My name is Majumba, and we cannot go past this. There's still a lot to come and very interesting program. Stay on.
Issues at hand